Thank you for watching me reading from my book, which I published in paperback or Kindle on Amazon.com, A Series of Miseries, a novella. I'm on chapter 4 today, and so I'll begin, and you can follow by watching the other episodes, segments. So now on chapter 4. Noticing a car that should not be there parked on the street in front of his house, he quickly memorized the license plate and walked to the door carrying his grocery bag. As he did, he saw a shadow move quickly in his living room window. Someone was walking around in his house. Thinking quickly, he knocked on the door. A well dressed, for a burglar, man with slightly graying hair answered the door and looked at him clearly without knowing who Red was. Red asked, "Is Mr. Niederer home at home?" He smiled a nice, professional, and friendly smile. The man was clearly taken aback, but stammered, "Yes, he is. Would you like to come in?" Red smiled and said, "No, that won't be necessary. Would you please give him these? It's his order from Lynn's Market." He pushed the grocery bag into the hands of the man at the door. "Have a nice day," Red smiled and walked off toward his rental car at a reasonably busy step, as if he had other deliveries to make. The man stood in the doorway for a second, perhaps to see what car Red would go to, and then stepped back inside, slamming the door. Red got in his rental a little short of breath and a little nervous and dialed 911 and got the cavalry on the way. This was going to be interesting, he thought. He waited and watched the house. DeQuan showed up before the patrol car as he had heard the call from the 911 dispatcher for assistance. Red got out of his rental and drove and strode toward DeQuan. "You okay, Red?" DeQuan asked. "Yeah, DeQuan, I'm okay. While we wait for the uniforms, can you run that license plate for me?" He pointed to the car he had noticed earlier. As DeQuan punched in the plate for a suspicious vehicle, the patrol car showed up. Entering the house, which was unlocked now, they searched it top to bottom. It was clear that someone had been there as the house had been ransacked, but no one was there now. He had apparently gone out the back door, which he left open. The groceries were scattered over the floor as it was clear he threw the bag. Now, while Red was wondering why the man ran away and who he was and why he left the car, DeQuan gave him a shout and he went back outside. "You're not going to believe this," Red replied. "What? Believe what?" "The car is registered in O'Brien's name. It's one of his." Red was slightly confused, but also was wondering if perhaps the car was left there for a reason. "DeQuan, this car needs to be taken apart and searched with a fine-tooth comb, so to speak." DeQuan agreed. "What about the laptop or the phone, Red? You got it from Kathy as a private citizen, so it's not like you're a cop and messed them up for evidence. She voluntarily lent them to you as a friend, and now you need to give them to us." Until now, there had been no crime to investigate, but this whole thing was getting curiouser and curiouser with the burglary. Red got the electronics and handed them over to DeQuan. He kept thinking of the things the man could have been searching for in his house, as he could find nothing missing. However, he would find something that had been added to his possessions rather than taken away. A call came through the patrol car in front of Red's house and DeQuan at the same time. A second patrol car looking for the runner had caught him, they suspected, out of breath and walking very fast on Route 30 toward the New Oxford Circle. In the back of the second patrol car, he was brought to the house briefly before being taken to the station. Red identified the man who glared at him intensely. Red wanted to go to the station to hear the interrogation, but DeQuan advised him not to and to just wait for a call. There was no need to get zoomy in another fit. Red waited, and while he did, he cleaned up the house. What a half-hearted burglary, he thought. It looks like it was just a show. When he found the external hard drive in an envelope in his desk, he decided not to look at what was on it. He didn't want anything on his computer hard drive that would come back to bite him. This favor for Zoomy had already bitten him repeatedly. He thought about O'Brien. O'Brien had a few things in common with Red, not the least of which was a very uncomfortable and unique first name. In O'Brien's case, there were two. He was Aloysius Xavier. Needless to say, no one called him anything but O'Brien. Why did the burglar, or whatever he was, have O'Brien's car? And we'll go on to chapter 5 next time. Thank you for listening.